What is up, everybody? Solomon, super excited to be down here at Consensus, and especially with the South Austin Music Shop with Genfinity. Obviously, we are interviewing multiple ecosystems. One of the most interesting projects that I've seen recently coming out of the Hedera Hashgraph ecosystem is certainly Twigital. You will see an interview coming out with the hbar bull, who is Brandon soon, but you're also going to get a short snippet of all of the value aspects of Twigital from the leading developer within Twigital, which is Jesse. Jesse, can you give us maybe just an overview of your experience in Web3, why you decided to launch Twigital, and tell us a little bit about what Twigital is?
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. Great to always be connected to the community. So I've been a part of the Hedera ecosystem since about 2017, 2018, so a long time. The first few years we were sort of more focused on the community and being a part of everything and making sure that we could stay close to the information. And then at some point, my partner, who is Brandon, the hbar bull, who you guys know very well, we sort of made a decision, okay, we're close to this information. This is too exciting not to be developing some type of product. So we've been in ideation for years on what does this look like? And I was in that position. I was super lucky to be able to talk to Lehman Baird, who's the chief scientist and inventor of the Hashgraph algorithm. And we had these conversations on a little show we did called Hedera Forum, which was just a little community show that we would put out at the time. And they were so nice and gracious to offer the time to come on and just chat with us. And I would ask him questions because I was genuinely curious about the possibilities of DLT. And one of the things he always said is, very matter-of-factly, that things of value in the world will be tokenized.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really sure what this could mean or why this is the case, but I always thought about it. And he would tell the story about how it's for the same reason that we moved from paper receipts to computers, because it's just way more convenient. And these things are more interoperable with the devices that we interact with in our lives on a daily basis. So the light bulb went off and I said, well, then, if we're just going to be tokenizing things of value, how can these be represented on Ledger? And up until now, I think for the most part, they've been represented as a hash to some piece of information that exists to verify something. And you could use a tag or some sort of QR code or anything to do this. And I thought, why aren't these objects representing themselves in this autonomous way in which they can act as an agent of revenue or an agent of marketing or whatever they are? Because if you have a beautiful object, and this is one of the reasons I thought this would be a great place to sit down and chat, is they all have a story. And the people have a story, and these are the connections. And I think when Web3 has bigger moments, it's because those barriers are broken down and people aren't thinking about finance on Web3 or anything. They're just in their daily lives with the things they love and the people they love. And how can that just be a part of their life? And it's Web3. And do I even know I'm using Web3? What does it matter to me? But so the way we think about it is these objects that are worth tokenizing, and you could have a broad spectrum of ranges on why you'd want to tokenize something, all the way from, just posterity, or maybe it's sentimental, to maybe it has value. Why does it, at the object level, we should be representing these things as themselves? So what Twigital does is create digital twins of physical objects, and those objects are then minted to take the form of an NFT on Hedera, and they can represent themselves that way in any immersive digital environment.
That is probably the most concise and amazing answer to a question that I've gotten in a bunch of different interviews. One of the things that you told me a couple of days ago as well is that though it may be possible to use something like Twigital on other ecosystems, Hedera is kind of that one-stop solution for you guys at the inception, based on how fast it is, scalability, sustainable fees, knowing what the fees are in the consensus service, just based on how the photogrammetry, which is one of the technologies that you guys use through Twigital right now, operates. Can you talk a little bit about that, as far as Hedera kind of just being the perfect fit for what you guys are building?
Yeah, so I think initially my draw to Hedera was honestly Lehman and his ethos and his message, and I just had a feeling that this was something I should pay more attention to. And then when they started rolling out additional services, and I see Patches is still sitting right over here, so what these guys enabled us to do with the further definition of schemas for metadata, it just sort of, it all happened while we were thinking and starting to build Twigital. And then it was like, oh, this is all possible now, this is the most perfect thing. And we never talked to them about it or it was just a community service sort of that they provided, which allows something like this to just come to be. So Hedera has great features in that they have native services, including a token service. So we generally can avoid any type of security issues that could possibly arise with smart contracts, and we are able to do this all natively. So they also have this amazing thing called the consensus service, in which we can log certain information and get a great timestamp for, and also add like the centralized identifiers when we can offer things like a verifiable credential. Let's say we have a guitar here and we're at South Austin Music. You know, if I was to buy this guitar right now, they'd hand me a receipt. And I would take that receipt and I'd probably hold on to it because it's kind of important if something were to go wrong. But South Austin Music doesn't get any other value out of selling me the guitar. I'm gone. And the maker of the guitar, in this case that's a Fender, really doesn't get any more value because it just sits on the shelf in my room now. But what if they just issued a receipt as a digital twin of the actual thing in the form of a 3D model? Then this thing is everywhere in every immersive environment. I, as the buyer of it, am excited to show it off in an immersive environment. Fender, as the manufacturer, is probably super excited because this is more marketing, and it just works for everybody. It's super easy. It takes like 2 minutes. We've developed the app. It's a Swift native app that's an iOS app right now. Super easy for anyone to use. Takes like 2 minutes. And so, yeah, I think that's why we started on Hedera and how it's been going.
100%. And then last but not least, would love to know when is the mass populace? Because I was in a Spaces last week, and we try to keep things as cross-chain as we possibly can. I was on an XRPL space and brought you guys up, being that you're building on Hedera, and I had 4 or 5 people and a couple of projects up there really interested in what Twigital was actually building out. So I think everybody's kind of itching to get their hands on a real product and real technology like what you guys are facilitating. Can you tell us a little bit about when you're anticipating the potential go live date for everybody out in the world?
Yeah, so it's pretty much ready right now. We're in closed beta still, or sort of alpha beta maybe, but we're there. It's a beautiful product. I think it has a great UI, UX experience. It's frictionless. It's pretty fast. It doesn't really take much training or anything like that. So yeah, it's interesting. We need to we're still in ideation on how exactly we roll it out and in what fashion. People smarter than me have certain ideas, and I tend to maybe should slow down and listen.
I think Brandon mentioned June or July, sometime around that time frame.
Yeah, Brandon's pretty smart.
That sound all right for you?
Smarter than me, yeah. I would go with that. Let's see. He said it.
Well, honestly, such a pleasure to be able to sit down and meet with you face to face, Jesse, and an honor meeting all you guys. I know Patch is still sitting over here. Certainly yourself, Jesse, and Brandon, and everybody from all the communities and ecosystems. Really excited about Twigital moving forward. Really excited to see everybody kind of taking action within the application. And you know, I know you said you were a little bit nervous about this interview, but you absolutely kicked its ass, by the way. So cool. Thank you guys very much, and really nice to thank you so much, Jesse, for sitting down with us.
Thanks for the opportunity.